Hello and welcome to the 30-second drill, where we have the belief we could play at wide receiver for the reigning Super Bowl champions because we too can't catch a ball. I'm Josh Reese with my friend Shane Campbell, who remains three ahead of me on 103 to 100, and he refuses to say publicly that the Detroit Lions are unstoppable. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Well,
Just
so far
in
they've actually been stopped twice. So
Yeah, but if I just keep throwing you under the bus, eventually it's going to hit you. We're going to jump right into my overreactions. The Bengals will win nothing until they stop putting Joe Burrow in danger. Can't speak. He is their franchise, and they're nothing without him. The Chiefs' arrogance in Mahomes has cost them back-to-back championships. Get him some weapons. DeVito would start for the Steelers. The Bears could take the two best quarterbacks in the draft and still suck. And it's Broncos country. Let's ride. Yeehaw!
the Pickett DeVito thing was probably the most accurate thing right there.
Thanks, mate.
Got a bit to say on him a little bit later, so stay tuned.
About time.
Well, you'll have to
About
stay tuned
time.
if you're here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, Broncos are flying. Was that four in a row? I think.
I think it is. Okay, we're going to get straight into it with the Green Bay Packers at Australia's team, the Detroit Lions. The Packers sitting at 4-6, coming off a win over the Chargers 23-20 that no one could have seen coming except for Brandon Staley. The Lions sit at 8-2 with a 31-26 win over the Bears. I'm going to kick things off here. Huge win for the Packers. Their run consists of the Lions, the Chiefs, the Giants, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Vikings, the Bears. They could find themselves 8-9 and stuck in a Jordan Love vortex for a very long time. As for the Lions, good teams win when they play bad. Lions now finish with Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. So they should win the next three and finish with a massive 4 games to see how good these Lions are. Everyone's forgetting about them, but I see them beating the 49ers or the Eagles and making the Super Bowl.
I can get on board that. Are you running the timer? Have you got the timer on?
I've got it ready to go now.
Okay, excellent.
Start.
So with the Packers, Jordan Love actually looked pretty good, and he was competent for all 4 quarters, which was a nice change. But I'm very interested to see if they're going to give Love a second year on this as a starter. I'm just not too sure which way they're going to go. As far as the Australia's team, Detroit Lions, go, they played their F game for 3 quarters, but Goff bounced back when it mattered most, which is a sign of that's what you want as a quarterback. When he's having a bad day, he can still turn up right at the end. Hutchinson needs help rushing the passer, though. Outside of him, there's not a lot of pass rush. And the 1 seed's a real possibility, but we need the Eagles to drop 2 games. I'm taking the Lions.
As am I. Definitely taking the Lions. I genuinely think that Jordan Love looked competent for 4 quarters because of the opposition coach. Moving on to the Commanders, who sit 4-7 and lost to the Giants 31-19. At the Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-3 and come off a 33-10 win over the Panthers. Take it away, Shane.
Commanders, 6 turnovers, 3 interceptions. They were swept by the Giants this year, so that's enough said. Cowboys, I think this is a big trap game before a massive 5-week run. I don't think they're going to catch Philly in the division, so getting the 5 seed is basically a win because you get the winner of the NFC South. I've got to hope CeeDee Lamb's ankle holds up, though. It was a bit of a worrying sign when I heard that. But otherwise, otherwise the offense will struggle to move the ball if Lamb is not healthy. I'm taking the Cowboys in this one.
Well, as for the Commanders, some teams just make you laugh, I guess. I'm going to watch them win this one, though. For the Cowboys, in the next month, I'll either sit here on this podcast to the fan we have and say, I told you so, or I'll say, oh shit, they're good. But I'm not buying this side to emerge from Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders as a contender or even making the playoffs. I'm taking the Commanders.
So you got Cowboys missing the playoffs?
I do.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Thanks, mate. I'm trying to be bold. Moving on to the 49ers at the Seahawks. The 49ers sit at 7-3 with a win over the Buccaneers 27-14. The Seahawks at 6-4 after losing to the Rams 17-16. The juggernaut that is the 49ers, with their quarterback who can have the perfect game, is coming into Seattle to face their young defense, which could get to him and cause problems. The 49ers actually need Seattle to do this, and they need to see if Purdy can perform under duress. That's going to be the question mark over this side until it actually happens. As for the Seahawks, the side is starting to sputter. As Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos get better, Geno Smith and Seattle step back. Losing, you let the Rams in. Having said all that, they were a missed field goal short of a win. But we're giving them the same energy that we gave the 49ers, and I'm taking the 49ers.
That's all very fair. 49ers, they had a solid game on all phases, but injuries on the defense to Hufanga and Hargraves will hurt this team. They'll need to address the penalties because that could cost them when they play a quality side. I think they had 7 or 8 penalties last week. Luckily, they were just playing the Bucks. Seahawks, they were swept by the Rams, and that's not something a playoff-bound team should be doing. Hopefully, Kenneth Walker can come back sooner rather than later, because their run game will not look the same without him. But I doubt they'll be able to catch the 49ers, and this is the biggest test of the year for Geno Smith so far. I'm taking the 49ers.
Fair. Moving on to the Dolphins at the Jets. The Dolphins sit 7-3 with a win over the Raiders, 20-13. The Jets sit at 4-6 after getting smashed by the Bills, 32-6. Over to you, mate.
Cool. Dolphins, they did not look good against the Raiders, but they don't actually need to look good for the next month because it's a pretty friendly schedule with the Jets, Commanders, Titans, and then the Jets again. Then they've got 3 tougher weeks. Hill is having an all-time season with another 146 yards and a touchdown. The Jets, I'm glad they're moving on from Zach Wilson because he's just one of the worst QBs I've ever seen, particularly when you count the hype coming in for him. He had more than enough chances. It's over for him. I don't think he'll ever start again. But now when the Jets struggle to score, the heat will be directed at Hackett, so he'll be lucky to survive this season. I am taking the Dolphins.
As for the Dolphins, they got the win, and that's all I'm saying because I want to talk about the Jets. 4-6 is actually incredible with Zach Wilson. However, to pull the trigger now after 9 deliberate weeks of Zach Wilson is absolutely stupid. Your season's gone, Salah. You've ruined your team's season by persisting with this nonsense. This is a playbook of what not to do when you lose your quarterback. Minnesota is the playbook of what to do. The team comes before the quarterback, and this insipid side is beholden to Aaron Rodgers, who will not be the reason this team goes from third best to top of their own division. The reason he won't is their horrible O-line. Salah may have built this side that everyone claimed was great and is ready, but he's killed them this year. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Just want to follow up, just a quick question on what you said there. So you blaming Salah that they didn't go out and get a quarterback, or they didn't move on to the third stringer from Zach Wilson sooner?
Well, they got... Is it Trevor Siemian?
Yeah, and I think someone brought Flacco in. Was it them? I don't remember. I don't know. Someone brought Flacco in. But were you blaming Salah for not bringing...
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Pull the trigger. Change your quarterback. Do something.
No, I wasn't sure if you were saying they should have pulled Zach Wilson for the third stringer earlier, because let's see how good he is.
Well, you could have tried something.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just wanted to sort of clarify.
Tommy DeVito is ripping it up, mate.
I just wanted to clarify what you're saying.
That what I just said leads right into the next game. The Steelers at the Bengals. The Steelers sitting at 6-4 after losing to the Browns 13-10. The Bengals 5-5, so losing to the Ravens 34-20 and losing Joe Burrow for the season. Tommy DeVito from the New York Giants has more games with multiple touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. The difference between Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett is Kenny Pickett will be the Steelers quarterback for a very long time, and they'll be irrelevant for a very long time. As for the Bengals, this sucks. It always sucks to see injuries, but to star quarterbacks were this good, it's just deflating. I think the Bengals team is good, but I also think outside of quarterback, they're the worst in division. But because of Kenny Pickett, they can absolutely win this, but I am taking the Steelers.
So as I've said previously, I'm not one to admit my mistakes, even when blatantly wrong, but I will actually do it for once here. So I've never been more wrong about anything than what I was for believing in Kenny Pickett. The way he ended last season, I thought he would progress and at least move into potentially like a top 16 quarterback. I don't think that's too much to ask. He went on a good run to finish above 500 last year. But he isn't close. He has all the weapons, great defense, but let's see how he is without Canada. So we'll see. I'm expecting a bit of a boost as what just happened with the Bills, but we'll see. Bengals, absolutely devastating. Burrow's gone. Season end. That just ends any hope that the Bengals had. Browning actually looked pretty good in the second half, so I am looking forward to seeing what he could do. He has got some weapons, but he's a second stringer for a reason, so can't really expect much out of the Bengals for the next 2 months. I'm taking the Steelers, which hurts.
I am interested to see how the Steelers go with a new offensive coordinator, because, I mean, if there's an immediate spike, okay, great. Yeah. But I just think Kenny Pickett he has not been very good.
No, I agree. Like, the way he finished last season, I thought he would just keep improving from that, but he's regressed. Like, I think they won 5 of their last 6 last year, and he looked competent, and I just expected him to step up, but didn't happen. Can't blame the wide receivers, can't blame the running backs, and I don't think we can blame everything on Canada, despite what South Park say.
Ken blame small hands. Moving on to the Jags and the Texans. The Jags sitting at 7-3 after a 34-14 win over the Titans, and the Texans sitting at 6-4 after a 21-16 win over the Cardinals. Do you want to kick this one off, mate?
Sure thing. So the AFC South has not had many highly anticipated games in a long time, but this is one I cannot wait for. Lawrence, he found the end zone 4 times last week, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground, and the connection with Ridley is starting to click. This is an exciting game. Texans, last game was Stroud's most reckless game throwing the ball. 3 interceptions. The Jags defense have the most interceptions on the year. I'm pretty sure that's still accurate. It was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, he'll have to be a lot more careful with the ball. And it was another 149 yards to Tank Dell, so that connection is cooking too. We could be in for a shootout. I'm taking the Texans just because they're at home.
Nice, I like it. As for the Jags, the Chiefs, Browns, Dolphins, and Jags all sit at 7-3, 1 win behind Baltimore. The Texans, Steelers, and Bills sit behind them on 6-4. And the thing with this game is the Texans seems more threatening than the Jags. This game is enormous for the Jags because their next 4 is the Bengals, Browns, and Ravens. So they seem to be kissed where it counts, with the quarterbacks falling down right before they play him. As for the Texans, we've been talking up Stroud lately, so as our form guide goes, they'll probably lose this one and he'll have a shocker. But can they actually take the division? I'm picking the Jags, but a Texans win wouldn't surprise me. We're going to move on to 3 consecutive boring games. Starting with the Bucs at the Colts. The Bucs are 4-5. They lost to the 49ers. Was it? I've stuffed up my notes here. 27-14, and the Colts are 5-5 coming off a bye. I'll kick this one off without the timer. The less time we spend on this game, the better. I've got the Colts to win.
Oh, okay, sure. I was expecting a little bit more. The Bucs 4-5, is that right? They only played 9 games.
Can't be right.
They're 4-6.
That's what I said.
That's fine. I just wanted to check that. All good. Bucs, they're only one game behind from first in the division, and which is just incredible because they have not been good, but the division absolutely sucks. I have no interest in this game. Colts, they're coming off the bye, so they should have an advantage, but I'm going with who I believe is the better quarterback for this game, so I'm taking the Bucs.
That's fair enough. That's good. We're different. Moving on to the Saints at the Falcons. The Saints and Falcons coming off the bye. Saints are 5-5. Falcons 4-6. This division stinks. Someone has to win it. Hopefully it's Jameis, and I'm not saying anything about the Falcons. I'm picking the Saints.
So Jameis is so much fun to watch, just because you never know which team's going to throw the ball to, and he's never seen a throw that he doesn't think he can make, and that's what I love about that guy. He will take on any opportunity. And the Falcons just keep running the ball to the left, taking the Saints.
Moving on to the final of the boring games, the Patriots and the Giants. Patriots sit at 2-8. They're coming off the bye. The Giants are 3-8 after beating the Commanders. Sorry. Is that? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think it was 31-19.
Yeah, 31-19. Yeah, that'll do. It's close enough. All I've got for the Patriots is surely not. Surely. And as for the Giants, I've got go DeVito. I'm picking the Giants.
Some good analysis there. Belichick wouldn't confirm who was starting a quarterback this week, which was interesting, but also, does it matter? And the Giants, I did not think they would win a game with DeVito under centre, and now they might actually win 2 in a row. So that was another thing I was wrong on. We're stacking those up. We're now at 2 in my life that I got wrong. And just run Saquon, because who knows what's going to happen in this dumpster fire of a game. I'm taking the Patriots.
Okay.
I know.
You stunned me there.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to the Panthers and the Titans. The Panthers sitting at 1-9 after losing 33-10 against the Cowboys, and the Titans 3-7 after losing 34-14 against the Jaguars. This is a big chance for the Panthers to win here. I don't see him doing it because I just can't see him ever winning. Like, the longer this keeps going, the less I think of Bryce Young, but also the less I watch them. So it's really just nonsense analysis by me. As for the Titans, I think they're just better coached, and I generally think they have a better quarterback at this point, and they're going to win this. They'll move on to 4 wins, and the Panthers will continue to be like, oh, look, we could have had pick 1 and picked a really good quarterback. We'll stuffed it again. Over to you, mate.
All right. So Bryce Young, he beat Stroud, and he's got a chance to beat another quarterback that came out in his draft. But apart from Thielen, he's really got no one to throw to. He got sacked 7 times last week, and this guy is just destined to get injured if they can't hold up and protect him. He's just so small. Titans, while they were outmatched across the board last week against the Jags, Levis protected the ball and he made some good throws. So yeah, he'll have something to prove, as he believes that he should have been the number 1 pick. And to be honest, Bryce Young shouldn't have been. So whether it was definitely should have been Stroud, but Levis is making a case for it. But also, what the hell happened to their run game? They just cannot move the ball on the ground. And with Derrick Henry, that's surprising. I'm taking the Titans, but just because I don't care about this game.
Yeah, their run game's gone to shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the Rams at the Cardinals. Rams sitting at 4-6 after a 17-16 win over the Seahawks, and the Cardinals 2-9 after losing 21-16 to the Texans. You kick this one off, mate.
So the Rams, that was a great win, and it really helped out Australia's team, just knocking the Seahawks down a little bit. I'm just hoping Stafford stays healthy, because without him, this team is awful. Cardinals, Kyler Murray should absolutely run circles around this defense. Looking for a massive game from him. He pushed the Texans right to the end of the game, and this is a hard one for me to pick, but I'm just going to take the Cardinals because they're at home. That's the only reason.
I thought we would have picked differently on this one because I was tipping the Cardinals. Down 13-0 to win 17-16 against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a quality win for the Rams. It's a huge division, another huge in-division game. God, got that out eventually. If they want to start some form of playoff run, the Cardinals are finally frisky, and I'm interested. I forgot how good Kyler Murray was, so I'm tipping the Cardinals, and I don't think it'll be the last time I do. Now we're moving on to the Browns at the Broncos. The Browns sitting at 7-3 after an amazing 13-10 win over the Steelers, and the Broncos 5-5 after beating the Vikings 21-20. The Browns won because of Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett. I'm not backing in the Browns to do something truly incredible with DRT as their quarterback. I just can't after seeing. I just can't. The Broncos, Russ is getting it done. I don't know if he's cooking, but he's getting it done. They're getting the W's, and Sean Payton maybe he's got them cooking. I reckon they'll pass this test against the Broncos because they just seem to be winning and they just seem to be doing what works for them. So I'm taking the Broncos in this one.
Browns, not just Brown, one of them. Well, there pretty much is only one that matters, and that's Myles Garrett. I just can't pronounce S's. So, start again. The Browns, Myles Garrett should be the MVP frontrunner at this stage of the season. He'll have to be the best player in the league if the Browns if they're going to be able to run down the Ravens. All right, Broncos. 4 wins in a row, which is the current longest active win streak in the AFC. They're 1 win out of the wild card spot, which is amazing considering the first month of the season they had. So yeah, they've got the Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions, Patriots, Chargers and Raiders coming up. So they're a real chance at 10-7. I'm taking the Broncos.
Those S's, mate. Well done.
Thanks.
We're now moving on to the Chief at the Raider. The Chiefs hit 7-3 after a 21-17 loss to the Eagles, and the Raiders sitting at 5-6 after a 20-13 loss to the Dolphins. You can kick this one off, Mr. S-Man.
Thank you. All right, Chief. They haven't scored a point after halftime in the last. Alright, pull your shit together. Alright, I haven't scored a point after halftime in the last 3 weeks. The defense is actually carrying the Chiefs. Mahomes' magic, he cannot do it solo. I can't believe Kelsey's going to be that bad again. You won't have to return from Argentina anytime soon either. But, however, who else is going to stand up and help Mahomes? The running game looks good, but this team lives and dies with the pass. The Raider, they have no quality quarterback. Just throw it to Devontae Adams. Keep him happy. That's all I've got. Taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs, same problems. They're showing us who they are, and who are we to believe that they're going to change? Valdez, Scantling, Tony, Kelsey, they continue to drop it. Their receivers lazy? Are they bad? What is it? Whatever the answer is, they have problems, and as of today, for the first time, I'm not backing them to win the Super Bowl. As for the Raider, I'm not interested in them. It does make me laugh that they're having a better season than the Chargers, though. So I maintain hope that the Chargers will do something smart, but I would not be surprised if Brandon Staley's still there. Getting sidetracked. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Turn that into Brandon Staley rant. It's coming, mate.
Yeah, I know. Moving on to my favourite team, the Buffalo Bills at the Eagles. Bills sit at 6-5 after beating the Jets 32-6. They probably dropped the banner for it. The Eagles are 9-1 after beating the Chiefs 21-17. This will be a nice reality check for the Bills. Don't be fooled by this side. This is what they do. Their offensive coordinator was never the problem. They have the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, 2 easy wins, and then the Dolphins. They're going to miss playoffs. That's what's going to happen. As for the Eagles, I can keep saying that they're not playing their best, but they just win. They're 9-1 with 3 big games to follow this of the 49ers, Cowboys, and Seahawks. If they win their next 4, the question becomes, who can stop them? I don't think anyone can. I'm taking the Eagles.
You say in the intro you thought Detroit were going to beat them?
No, I was just more taking the piss out of you.
Right, so Bills. I love seeing the Bills run the ball. Really takes some of the pressure off Allen, and it was more runs than passes, which I think is the first time that's happened in Buffalo since Daboll was the offensive coordinator. Also, pretty sure I made that up, but it could be true. Someone look it up. And I'm waiting to see if Diggs will have another blow up on the sideline, because it's coming. Don't think he wants to be there. Eagles. They shut out the Chiefs in the second half, and Hurts made the biggest throw when it mattered the most. This team looks so much more battle-tested than last year. Last year they got a lot of big wins, early leads, and were never really tested, and I think that sort of caught up to them in the Super Bowl. This year they're playing a lot more grinded-out games. Brotherly shove is unstoppable, and I absolutely love it. And winning this game when AJ Brown only had 1 catch for 8 yards is super impressive. And of course, we have to mention that former Australia's team running back DeAndre Swift continues to make game-breaking plays. I'm taking the Eagles.
As for the Lions over the Eagles, there is part of me that genuinely thinks if they meet in the NFC Championship game that the Detroit Lions can beat them.
Can.
But I'm still picking the Eagles to win the Super Bowl at this stage. It's just whether or not the Lions can make the NFC Championship. Moving on to the Ravens at our favourite team, the Chargers. The Ravens sitting at 8-3 after beating the Bengals 34-20, and the Chargers 4-6 after losing to the Packers 23-20. Kick it off, buddy.
Ravens, they currently in the 1 seed. And they got a bye week after they dispatch of the Chargers, which is really needed because they need to get healthy. It's a real shame about Mark Andrews being out for the year, but they do actually have some quality receivers to fill the gaps. Lamar could run for 150 this week, and look for Zay Flowers to absolutely shred the Chargers defense. He's going to have a massive game. Chargers, they are last in the division, which is hilarious to me. And I honestly believe this will be Staley's last game. We've been calling for it since before we started the podcast that he needs to go. I think this will be his last game as the head coach. Got to get a good look at Kellen Moore, start the process of finding a coach for next season, because this has been an outright disaster. I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm also taking the Ravens. They're the third best offense from a scoring standpoint, second or third best defense Kansas City ever came in hand, and they're equal first in points differential. Like we could see a Ravens Philly Super Bowl with two of the most unique quarterbacks, which would be amazing. I trust Lamar with his versatility, but there's always a cloud over availability for this side because the injuries always happen. I'm not giving myself enough time to pay out the charges here, but I can say this. Staley said he's keeping defensive call duties to himself. Imagine being so bad at something that you're apparently good at and keeping your job. It's freaking wild. Like, he sucks.
Yeah. I reckon he'll be
I'd say
gone,
more, but I'm waiting for him to be sacked. Might have to bring out some party poppers if he does.
We'll do a sacked Staley special, I reckon.
Yeah.
For our fan.
For about 30 seconds. Moving on to the Bears at the Vikings. The Bears are 3-8 after losing to Australia's team, the Detroit Lions, 26-31, and the Vikings are 6-5 after losing to the Broncos, 21-20. I'll take this one. The Bears were always going to lose this game. Fields played well, in my opinion, but their defensive coach can't hold a lead. Where have we seen that before? Is it in LA? It will not matter who they take at quarterback. It's not going to fix anything at this side. As for the Vikings, in a game of inches, Russell Wilson was just a bit better than Dobbs. A couple of mistakes against none, really. They're an incredibly well-coached side with wonderful weapons on the offense, and they will smash the Bears. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm also going to take the Vikings in the final game of the round. Bears. While Fields might be auditioning for a new team for next year, he's doing enough to prove that he can play at a high level. He rushed for over 100 yards. I think it's safe to say he's the best rushing quarterback in the game when fully healthy. I think he's got Lamar for that right now, at least. And he threw an absolute dime to DJ Moore for a touchdown. He just missed the game sealer, which obviously matters, but he does look good at times, and I think he'll only get better as the weeks go on. Vikings, was this a stumble or a sign of things to come? The Dobbs-Hockenson connection looks really good. Madison and Chandler provide a solid run game, and the Vikings are currently in a wild card spot. I think they're 7th, and maybe only one win behind 5th. They haven't had their bye yet, so maybe fatigue could play a factor, but I don't think it'll matter too much in this game. Got the Vikings.
Nice. I feel like Justin Fields is who 49ers thought Trey Lance was.
Yeah, it's probably a fair call. I think, yeah, I don't know. I like him. He's does some stupid shit, but
yeah,
I don't think he's had a quality coach yet. So give him a quality offensive coach, and who knows?
I'm with you on that, and so I reckon someone's going to pick him up on the cheap, and
yeah,
it's
well,
going to be awesome.
That's the thing, because if Bears obviously going to take a quarterback, once you take a quarterback, his value drops, because they know they want to unload him.
Falcons will pick him up.
Falcons.
Yeah, then they can run it even
to the left.
Yeah.
Him and
then they
Bijan.
still, and then they don't have to use Kyle Pitts even more.
You just keep blocking.
So that's it for us again. And once again, please follow us on the socials: 30-Second Drill, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Email us 30-Second Drill for a sponsorship opportunity like the good people at Wheat did this week. We apologise to our celiac friends, but this week's episode is brought to you by Wheat, which is really good for you with protein and vitamins and dietary fibres and phytochemicals. I think that says whatever they are. I'm sure wheat is good for you. Thanks, Wheat.
Good on you, Wheat.
See you, buddy.
See you, mate.